Welcome back. We're fired up on set here this morning. For almost 2 decades, the tampon tax has been one of Australia's most controversial taxes. Under current legislation, there's a 10% levy on sanitary items because they're considered a luxury, and it's costing Australian women a staggering $30 million a year. In contrast, male products such as condoms and Viagra are GST-free. So for today's agenda, we are asking, is a tax on sanitary pads and tampons simply a tax on women? I'm joined by finance expert, Money Magazine's Effie Zahos, and founder of Share the Dignity charity, Rochelle. Good morning. Welcome to you both. Effie, just explain this tax. A lot of people are unaware of it, and those who find out about it are incredulous that it would be deemed a luxury item.
Spot on.
How did it come about?
Look, it's an educational thing because a lot of people are shocked. As you said, we don't have GST on Viagra, on lubricants, on condoms, on incontinent pads, yet we have GST on menstrual products. I think the Deputy Labor leader, Tanya Plebiscite, summed it up nicely. It was a dumb decision made back in 1999. And more than likely, it was made by male-dominated public servants that had to go through a male-dominant cabinet. The thing to note here, prior to GST, we had the wholesale sales tax regime. We did not have tampons taxed then. They were under hygiene products, healthcare products. Clearly, come on, this is just a stuff-up that happened way back then, and we need to fix it.
But of course, it's a nice little earner for the government, isn't it? So no one wants to repeal it.
Is it a nice earner? Because that can be argued against. It's about 30 million to 35 million per year. That's small fry to what the total GST brings in, about $62 billion.
And how much is it costing the average woman a year, this tax?
About $1,000, depending on your needs. But $1,000 is what's cited. So, and I think the agreement here is, yes, it affects low-income earners, and you are definitely the expert in that area. But this is not about money. This is about fairness. This is about equality. This is about respecting women. It's not a case of money. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And the reason I say that is, yes, there are bigger things we could be talking about, but that's not the point.
Rochelle, if you make such a good point, it's the principle, isn't it? And tell us about Share the Dignity and your involvement and why you're so passionate about this.
Yeah, look, Share the Dignity started 3 years ago when I read an article written that there were 44,000 homeless women in Australia. And while that is hard to believe in itself, that they don't have somewhere safe to call home, they also get their period like you and I. And so that they were using socks and wadded up toilet paper and napkins to deal with their period. And that's just completely unheard of. It should be unheard of here in the lucky country. So we now collect pads and tampons in April and August to be able to get out to all of the women experiencing homelessness, fleeing domestic violence, our drought-stricken farming women who are using cut-up towels, rags, not towels that you and I would have in our cupboard, spit-through towels to be able to deal with their period.
What a wonderful thing you're doing. It makes so much sense that, you know, the help is so badly needed across so many sectors. This tax in other countries has been either reduced or axed, hasn't it? So it can be done.
It certainly can be done, and all we're trying to do is to right the wrong that was brought in nearly 20 years ago. It's a long-standing argument, and it's just time for our politicians to listen to us. We pay their wages.
So
India just axed it.
Yeah, England's reduced it.
England has reduced it.
Canada
Ireland non-existent. Ireland non-existent. Kenya non-existent. And we're discussing this here in Australia. And the issues, as you raised, it is appalling that we have young ladies in regional Australia. And let's get this. I mean, when I read that, you know, it's only $1,000, I did say for low-income earners, it's proportional. If you're only earning $18,000 and below the tax-free threshold, $1,000 is a lot. And then when you go to regional Australia, pads cost $10 plus.
Exactly.
It's already an expensive item.
Imagine being a mother with 2 teenage daughters. That's like nearly $30, $50. That's if you've got a normal period. You know, 1 in 10 of us suffer from endometriosis in the first place. It doesn't discriminate whether you're homeless or fleeing domestic violence.
And the reality is girls are getting their periods younger too, so the years of actually menstruating last longer as well.
Yeah. Yay for us.
Exactly. What needs to happen, Rochelle? What do we need to focus on here?
We need to make sure that our voices get heard, that this is not okay. It's sign the petition, head to our website and send a letter. We've got a copy-paste letter that you can send to your politician. Make sure that our voices are heard. Make sure that while we understand we can probably afford it, there are many, many women out there and girls who are not attending school because they don't have access to sanitary items. We heard last week of a young 15-year-old girl who left a tampon in for 2 days because she didn't have access to sanitary items. We installed a Dignity vending machine, so a vending machine that I created a couple of years ago that dispenses a free period pack that goes into domestic violence shelters, homelessness hubs and into poverty-stricken schools, so girls don't have to miss school. But what happened there was I realised that when we were putting together that period pack is that it has 2 pads and 6 tampons in it. I thought we could use our donated products to put that pack together, but you can't because they actually, pads and tampons fall under the Therapeutic Goods Association Act, and we cannot tamper with them. So
Yet they're sitting
on the other side. So it's a very contradictory tack. So I did have a conversation with Minister Hunt on Thursday, and he was unaware of that as well. So it is
As
something
Health Minister.
our Health
Do you
Minister.
know, I remember this issue came up at the last election and it was almost ridiculed. And it obviously, you know, it went no further.
Yeah.
What is the problem here? Why are people not, why is Canberra not sitting up and listening?
I think over the time, Georgie, both the major parties have either, agreed it should be gone, and it's become a political vote here. This is not, we're not taking sides. This is not a political agenda here. Let's just fix this. So they're saying in a lot of cases the states and territories have to agree with it, but it was a federal government decision. Surely the federal government, surely from the top we can make this call. Let's get over ourselves in a political matter and let's just think, hold it. This is just not right. This is stupid. This is silly. Why are we having a discussion right now? And this is what we're trying to do also at, sign the petition, bloodyannoying.com. Get there, make our point. I think it's now come to the end. Come on, guys. And there's lots of petitions out there. We're being strong with our voices here. This just doesn't make sense. And the argument is let's not carve out the GST. Let's not throw around or stuff up the tax system. And I keep saying, let's not make the perfect the enemy of the good. Yes, there are lots of ways that our tax system needs to be fixed, but this was a mistake. It's easy to be done.
It can be righted. Rochelle, just finally in closing, you're on the front line. Just to give us a bit of an idea of how much of a difference this would make if the tax was scrapped.
Yeah, look, there are more than 85,000 women who turned to homelessness services last year. They can't afford an extra $1,000 a year. They can't even afford the $5 for a packet of pads or tampons. For some women living in their car with their 2 kids after fleeing domestic violence, they've got that $5 to put sausages and bread and put together dinner for their kids. They're using wadded up toilet paper to deal with their periods. It's not okay, and it's just time for us to right that wrong.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Can I just add that where's the money going to go if you pull that out? That's the question a lot of people would say. There's only 47% of GST on consumption of goods. We can broaden it out. It is only a small amount, so let's not let that be part of the argument as well.
Yeah, very, very good discussion, very necessary discussion. Thank you both for your input.
Thank you.
Remind me again, what's the slogan?
Okay.
I agree. Bloodyannoying.com. Carl and Sylvia.
I thought it was an ad for Viagra.